enabling but also empowering to change life. I mean, quality life is very important, right? So you can't afford to left behind in the digital economy era. So as Brian earlier said, we launched Telebirr, our mobile money platform in 2021 May. And now, starting from day one, Telebirr has been offering, starting from basic mobile wallet service to enhance the financial service later on. And the platform is accessible for both internet and non-internet users through mobile app, Android and iOS, and USSD in 5 languages, which makes it very convenient, easy to use, and it's accessible for both people who are living in urban and rural areas. And that's why maybe later on when you see the adoption, like in 2 years, Telebirr user has reached 37 million out of the 73 million that I mentioned earlier. That's why I've really been being the leader in this technology. I mean, this telecom industry. What makes me really happy is the power behind mobile technology. Impact it is creating, especially including the excluded one. We're not talking about including in terms of finance, but also education, health, and many other more sectors. And making more government services available for, I mean, in a country like Ethiopia, more than 100 million population. So you can imagine how difficult it's going to be for people to access basic services, very basic services. That's why we industry leaders need to explore more and leverage the mobile technology so as to benefit millions. So in 2 years' time, we are able to reach 37 million subscribers, and the transaction has hit over 1.2 trillion Ethiopian birr. And this is really significant. I mean, I will give you the perspective what is going on in Ethiopia. Maybe it might look small for you in your country, I'm not sure, but taking into consideration what has been going on in the mobile money in the past maybe 20 years, I think this is remarkable. Having a clear vision and strategy to make it happen. I hope it will help for others also, maybe for those who have not yet leveraged the mobile technology to use it for, expand their service maybe, and as well as for those who are not really, From the transaction I mentioned earlier, 1.2 trillion, as you can see, more than 30% or 31% is circulating. What does this mean? This is really promising to build the digital economy. That's where the challenge is, especially in the society where heavily the transaction is happening in terms of cash. In 2 years that we are able to achieve, out of the total transactions, 30% is inside circulating, person to person and merchant payment. And this is really promising to achieve our dream, that is digital Ethiopia. And today, Telebirr is connected or integrated with 25 local banks, which makes it easy for Telebirr users to transfer money from Telebirr to bank, and as well as from bank to Telebirr. But not limited to local banks, it's also integrated with 16 international remittance service providers, which makes it easy now to send money from 45 countries. And apart from that, today we are able to integrate more than 294 private enterprise, governments service with Telebirr, so that they can avail the service and product to over 37 million Telebirr users. Today we are also, government is using it to collect tax, and also for many other services and fines, and the industry, private sector, they are using it for transport and food delivery. E-commerce is also integrated with our Telebirr. And this is happening only in just 2 years, as I mentioned earlier. And our penetration is across the country, and we are enlarging our agents and merchant network. Today we have more than 115 agents across the country, which makes it very easy for Telebirr users for cash in and cash out, and for other services as well. For the adoption, registration is also going on through our agents. We don't have a very good relationship. As my friend earlier mentioned, partnership is very important. We need to collaborate. The ecosystem needs to be developed, and operators need to take the initiative. especially encouraging the ecosystem to onboard and work with us, because we cannot make it happen alone. So collaboration is very important. And one more very interesting, in this 2 years journey, we were able to also upgrade Telebirr to a super app platform, which makes it very easy again for Telebirr users to access an array of service with a single interface, starting from e-commerce, digital financial service, government service, and many more can be accessed through Telebirr. You don't need to go through multiple application. That makes it very easier for our customers. I mean, starting from day to day for transportation, for the food delivery and other service, gaming, education as well is integrated with Telebirr. More than 34 mini apps are integrated with Telebirr in collaboration with the ecosystem and also private and government institutions who are willing to work with us. And also it's creating an opportunity for business companies to market their goods and service for more than 37 million Telebirr users. And this is drastically changing how they are doing business. Honestly, before they have to build to be digital, at least to be accessed, they have to build their own app, maybe their own website, or they have to go through a lot of steps, right? Journeys, hosting, and other maintenance, you name it, the technical requirement. They don't need that. Now, they bring their product, hook with Telebirr, and they are available to more than 37 million market. And that's a huge opportunity. So when we collaborate, these are one of the opportunities that we can create for enterprise. That's why we say we are empowering business, community, and government as well. And the other thing is Telebirr is boosting the financial inclusion in our country. In 2022 August, we got the license to give a digital financial service. Day one, it was not allowed. We were allowed to do only basic mobile service. But after we have been doing it, and by the way, it is the first operator-led mobile money in our country, Telebirr. So it was very difficult for policymakers, regulators to understand what it can bring and the risk associated with going digital. And for your surprise, it took 2 years to convince policymakers and to get a license. But to reach 37 million subscribers, we only took 2 years. And that's the power of mobile technology. Again, that's why I always say less leverage, unlock the full potential of mobile technology. There is a lot more we can do using the mobile technology. And that's the beauty to be in this industry, I believe so, at least. So, since we launched our digital financial service, again, the first digital financial service in our country, not only as a platform, as a technology, but the mindset also, providing credit service, non-collateral, without knowing your customer from a remote. It never happened in our country. You have to go to the bank window, and maybe 2-3 times, you need to go back and forth and justify who you are, a lot of things, right? So now, in just 1 year, more than 3.1 million users, they benefited 7 billion Ethiopian birr from our microcredit. And this never happened in our country. Just to give you the perspective, in terms of financial inclusion in our country, there are more than 31 banks. So far, they are able to provide loan for less than 500,000 population. Less than, altogether, and I'm not talking about their 1 year performance, I'm talking about altogether. For the last several years I'm talking about, and this is according to our National Bank report. It's not a secret. So again, what I'm trying to say here, you can see the power again. The mobile, that's in our country, what it can do. And 3.1 million in just 1 year. When I say sustainable earlier, sustainable development cannot happen without inclusion. And for inclusion, I think poverty is a result of marginalization. If that's the case, we need to work towards inclusion. and for the inclusion, the best tool, the powerful tool that it can help us to include millions in a very short period across this mobile again. That's why here we can see really the power again, 3.1 million benefiting 7 billion in 1 year. And you know, it's giving you the picture, right? The 2 years old, when I say very powerful, I think it is, right? It's already impacting the economic activity and boosting the financial inclusion. Apart from the microcredit, the saving as well, we are able to mobilize from 1.1 million Telebirr users, 6.2 billion, again, macro saving. And to do this, maybe using the traditional bank, it will take maybe years, and it might be very difficult. The cost might be much, much higher than the transaction, right? So, again, Brian, earlier you were saying to share our vision, right? So in the next 5 years, our plan is to raise the nation's financial inclusion at least by 40%, and also to use Telebirr at least for 50% of our national GDP. It seems very ambitious, but we do have a very clear strategy. We are very clear of what we are doing. We are collaborating with the ecosystem participants, with relevant stakeholders as well. So what we have done so far, I think it's really inspiring policymakers, stakeholders. We need to make the environment enabling. Still, there are some adjustments that it requires, especially on the transaction limitation and other directives need to be adjusted. But I think now the policymakers also, they are unlocking their door as well from the perspective of policy and directive. Hope from this, from the back again, not only ecosystem participants, there are technology providers as well who are working with us. I believe we can achieve our target. And again, my last message is let's continue exploring and unlocking the full potential of mobile technology for a sustainable and inclusive digital society and economy. That's very important. That's very important, again, for sustainable and inclusive digital society and economy, especially we are in Kigali, right, Africa. So this is very important for us. Thank you so much again.